Part 4. The unraveling he didn't notice at first. Men like him rarely do. They only start to panic when the warmth they took for granted begins to turn cold. I became different. Quieter. Sharper. No arguments. No tears. Just silence that made him uncomfortable. He'd ask, "Are you okay?" And I'd smile, that soft, knowing smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "Of course," I'd say. But inside, I was watching him unravel. The flowers stopped. The fake niceness faded. And soon, his frustration started to show. Because nothing bothers a guilty man more than a woman who refuses to react. He started accusing me of being distant, of not caring anymore. And maybe he was right. Because the truth is, I didn't. Something had shifted. I had stopped being the woman who begged for attention. Now I was the woman he couldn't figure out anymore. He'd call, and I'd let it ring. He'd text, and I'd wait hours before replying. I started dressing differently, not for him, but for me. Confidence. Poise. Silence. That became my armor. One evening, I came home late from work. He was sitting in the living room, waiting, eyes full of suspicion. "Where were you?" he asked. I smiled again, that same calm, controlled smile. "Out," I said simply. "With who?" he pressed. "With peace," I replied. He laughed, but it wasn't real laughter. It was nervous. He was beginning to feel what I had felt, uncertainty. Doubt. Fear. And I could see it in his eyes, he didn't trust me anymore. The irony was delicious. Every time his phone rang, he'd flinch, as if I might notice. Every time I got a message, he'd ask, "Who's that?" He was drowning in the same insecurity he once made me live with. And I didn't have to lift a finger. The best revenge, I realized, isn't in destruction, it's in evolution. Becoming everything they said you couldn't be, everything they never imagined you'd become. I started focusing on me. My career, my body, my peace, my dreams. I became radiant in my own right, and it drove him insane. He started trying again. Random gifts. Late apologies. Promises to do better. But I'd already detached. When a woman truly detaches, her silence is louder than any scream. And I was done screaming. One night, he tried to touch me, his hands soft on my waist, his voice low, saying my name like it still meant something. But I froze. Not because I didn't want him, but because he no longer existed in the version of my world I was building. He sensed it. And for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing me. Fear of realizing he already had. I turned to him, my voice steady. "You killed us the day you lied to me. The day you thought I wouldn't find out. The day you decided I wasn't enough." He opened his mouth to speak, but I didn't give him the chance. I walked away, not out of anger, but out of peace. Because I finally understood. Some betrayals don't need confrontation. They just need closure, and silence was mine. Watch out for part 5.